Hello fellow Blood Knights. Today we're going to be looking at an initial PvP build video. Let's get to it. If you haven't seen my original Blood Knight video going over all of the essences and the skills, I'll leave a link for it in the description, as well as somewhere on the screen. I'll leave a link to it. Make sure you watch that before proceeding with this video. And if all you care is about the build and that's all you want to see, you don't care about the discussion or my opinion, here's the picture and here are your options. For the primary attack, I think Ravage really has its place given its AoE capability that fits well with the class's playstyle. And its ultimate ability grants an absorb shield as well as its final attack causes a knockback. If you're keen on running Shadow's Edge, you could always give up the Wave of Blood offhand for Hanging Chalice to get some AoE damage on your primary attack. But in PvP, I think giving up the stun and knock up on Wave of Blood is just too much. Next up, we have Wave of Blood. This is our main control ability, as it is a ranged knock up and stun with Idol of Opulence. We can use Warmth and Likability to increase the charges of Wave of Blood by 1. And finally, we can use Gorger's Yawn to increase the range by 20%. The helm is definitely optional if you plan on running Blood Siphon, because there's a better helm to make best use of the ability. Our next ability is Skewer with the Besour Essence. With this essence, it allows Skewer to become a gap closer that does damage, a knock up, and a stun, and we can use it offensively and defensively. For your core abilities, I would open with either Wave of Blood or I would open with Skewer as the gap closer. There's just a ton of different options to open with. Let's talk about the 4 optional abilities. First one I want to cover is Mephitic Cloud. This skill restricts targeting, which is the auto targeting for players, such as a Demon Hunter's primary attack if it's set to auto aim, or such as Arcane Torrent from a Sprinkler Wiz, which is why this ability I think is going to be crucial in PvP. The essences required are Dismal Figure for the shoulders. Pants are completely optional if you plan on running Swarm of Bats, because you may find that you need to heal from Oversight. Next ability is going to be Siphon Blood with Horns of the Hex as the helm. This allows you to channel Siphon Blood while moving, which increases your mobility, allows you to self-sustain while chasing someone, just overall makes the skill so much better. Next up is Swarm of Bats. This is an AoE ability. With the right essences, Solemn Snare makes you untargetable for 2 seconds and increases your move speed. And Oversight as the pants, which gives you 15% heal up based on the damage dealt. Unfortunately, I don't have B-roll to show exactly what it looks like, but in this footage you can see I'm using Blood Siphon and the bats, so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. Last up, we have Transfusion. When you cast it on yourself or an ally, you generate a shield that lasts for 3 seconds, which absorbs damage. Additionally, it removes all harmful effects on yourself and the targeted player. And you can cast it again within the first 5 seconds to grant yourself the shield again, or another player, or the same player, to remove harmful effects. In practice, I think this skill is going to be the first one that most people gravitate towards, just because of the immunity that it grants you, as well as the utility with a dash to a friendly ally, but it's too early to tell. We'll see how the meta plays out. Lastly, if you find yourself needing a little bit more mobility, you can run Spear Flurry with the Made to Wander essence. This gives you 3 charges of a dash that's useful for damage, a gap closer, and as an escape. And if you want to have some fun with Spear Flurry, you can run Overrun, which knocks enemies in the air. The way the tooltip reads is if they are continuously knocked for 2 seconds, they become immune for 3 seconds. But what happens if you tap it and then let go, tap it and then let go, tap it and then let go? It'll be very interesting to see how this works on players. And if you made it this far in the video, this is the completed build of what I believe is going to be super strong. There are a couple things you can swap out, like if you don't want to run Mephitic Cloud, you could pick up Siphon Blood. You could drop Transfusion for Siphon Blood. The thinking here is you don't necessarily need sustain because Mephitic Cloud is going to add control as well as prevent people from targeting you. And if you run 4-piece Mount Banks as well as 2-piece Barons, I think this build is going to be pretty strong. You might not even need to sustain from Siphon Blood.
Before we get into the gem discussion, I just want to make a note that this is all speculation at this time. Everything can be swapped out based on how the meta plays out, where we might want more citrines or we might want more topaz. We may want to change out a 5-star gem. So this is all speculation at this point.
For the gems, I would stack armor, resistance, and believe it or not, life. Rubies on my server are super cheap, and I think life is going to be really huge for this class.
And if you are a spender in this game, here are the 5-star gems I would run. Chipstone Flesh because of the increased damage during lost control, Bloodsoaked Jade for the flat damage as well as move speed, Starfire Shard for control as well as damage, Bottle Hope for the move speed and damage on your buff, Seeping Bile for the slow as well as damage, Alice Call for the stun, Frozen Heart for defensive gem, and Spiteful Blood for also a defensive gem. If you decide to run 4-piece Urge or 2-piece Urge, you may be able to swap Frozen Heart or Spiteful Blood out for Gloom Cask, but that's totally up to you. And since I plan on making my Blood Knight free to play, these are the 1-star gems that I'm going to be using. My vision for this class is to play a hybrid control class between a Crusader and a Necromancer. So I think these gems will fit that kind of playstyle the best. And then if I really get mad, I can always raise class change to Crusader. But I want to try to make a hybrid control/tank class. And I think the Blood Knight is going to be able to do that. Finally, we wrap up with the reforges. Initially, my plan is to run Barrier Stone because of the Absorb Shield. For specific reforges, I'll be running Block Chance, damage taken from nearby enemies, and either Fear Resistance or Maximum Life. Just depends on how annoying Necromancers are going to be. And if I find that Barrier Stone is not the move, I will try Tremor Set and stack Knockback Resist, Stun Resist, and either Continual Damage Taken or Primary Attack Chance to reduce enemy attack and movement speeds. Once my gear rank gets a little bit higher and I have 5 different reforge attributes I can choose from, it'll most likely be a mix between Tremor and Barrier, but I may throw a little Jolt Zone in there. It just depends on what I'm dying to and what changes I need to make. This is always how build development works. You change pieces out until you figure out what works and what doesn't work, but that is my plan for Blood Knight. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the theory crafting and my thoughts about Blood Knight and the upcoming build potential. Hope you find this useful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do try to stream as much as possible on the weekends at twitch.tv/keyslol. Plus, I will be doing my free-to-play Blood Knight, so there will be a lot of streams of developing and leveling this class from scratch. If you're into that kind of thing, make sure to check out my Twitch. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!